Hello, my name is Kevin Duska. I'm the president of Prime Rogue Inc. And today we're going to be talking about the very necessary death of USAID and what it means for Americans' future. So let's get one thing straight. USAID deserved to die. It was bloated, it was corrupt, and it was a self-perpetuating black hole for US tax dollars. Its only reason to exist was to fund itself, not to solve problems. And if you don't believe me, let's talk numbers. $40 billion a year. That's what USAID was burning through. 10 times the budget of DARPA. 10 times. And for what? Workshops, awareness campaigns, capacity building initiatives that somehow never built capacity. You know, the whole point of foreign aid is to stabilize regions, build self-sufficiency, and let's be honest, expand American influence, something that USAID failed to do in relation to all three. The countries that ended up getting the most US aid, they never stopped needing it. Why? Because USAID was never in the business of actually solving problems. It was in the business of keeping itself and its contractors in business. Look at Afghanistan. $335 million for a power plant that barely fucking worked. Billions spent on local governance training that just evaporated the second the Taliban rode back in. Where did all that money go? Contractors, NGOs, consultants. Everyone got paid except the people who were supposed to fucking benefit. And this isn't just an Afghanistan problem. This is how USAID has worked everywhere. The agency didn't track success based on results. It tracked success based on how much money it spent. If a program failed, no problem. Just fund the same program again. 5 years later, same people in place. New name, rinse, repeat. So yeah, USAID needed to go, but here's the problem. Killing it without a replacement, that's a strategic disaster because the second USAID went up in flames, China and Russia are stepping in, and they're not just throwing cash at NGOs and hoping for the best. Instead, China's Belt and Road Initiative is the biggest economic takeover operation in history. They don't do foreign aid, they do long-term economic control. They show up, they build roads, ports, airports, real infrastructure that locks countries into debt for decades. And now that USAID is dead, there's nothing stopping them from taking over entire economies. Meanwhile, Russia's not even playing the developing game anymore. They're playing the military game, the military aid game. The US used to stabilize regions via economic influences. Russia uses force, mercenaries, arms deals, security contracts, the kind of power that actually matters when a government is about to collapse. And right now, the US is MIA. Putin is doing that everywhere. So what's Washington doing? Nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. No replacement strategy, no new infrastructure investment plans, no diplomatic offensive, just fucking crickets. And this is why the US is losing ground. It doesn't think long term, it thinks in election cycles while China and Russia are planning for decades. And this is not a Democratic thing or a Republican thing. I'm fucking Canadian. I don't give a damn about your country. But it's reality. And for years, USAID was one of the excuses that Washington could use to maintain a foothold in the developing world. Now that that foothold's gone, nobody in DC is going to have any fucking clue on how to get it back. So what next? Well, is the US going to be a superpower or a footnote? Here's the bottom line. If the US doesn't build an actual strategy to counter China's economic dominance and Russia's military expansion, it's cooked. Superpowers don't just stay superpowers by default. They fight for it, they invest, they expand. The US, standing on its ass, watching the world change around it, pretending like it's still in control. If Washington doesn't wake the fuck up soon, 20 years from now, the only question that's going to be left is when did America stop being relevant? Kevin Duska, Prime Rogue Inc.